Yeah, that's about right. We can do that. So let's go ahead and add that. Perfect. There's the sky bridge. Perfect. And then I also want to create where the bar part is. So I need to create a little circular section here. So I'll go to the circle over here. Everything is snapped to grid. And I'm kind of lining it up. There we go. Make sure it lines up with the grid. We're going to go plus. There we go. Let's take a step back, look at it. Yep, that looks good. Okay. So now we have those entrances. Let's also create room for the entrances. So let's go ahead and subtract right here. Oopsie, that's a circle. My bad. And let's select this again. All right. I hope you're following okay. All right. Okay. And then we'll put a little staircase that goes there as well. But I think I might have it go up kind of like this because you need enough room for people to go up and down. Otherwise, there's not much room there. So, all right, looks like my connection is a little unstable. I hope people aren't having a hard time right now with the internet. Okay. All right, that looks good. Let's take a step back. All right, this looks good so far. I like where it's going here. I'm going to change up this is about the same brightness as the inside and the outside there. So what I'll do is I'm going to bring the brightness down. So bring the brightness down just a hair. There we go. Okay, cool. Now it's very distinguishable. There we go. Much better. All right. Hey, you guys, let me know if there's some connectivity issue. I'm kind of noticing there's some unstable connection right now with it. So if you guys are having any problems, please let me know in the chat, and I could probably just refresh it. Just let me know, okay? All right. Let's keep going here. So we've pretty much got all the ways to kind of get in. Now we want to go ahead and, again, add in the access part. So what I'm going to end up doing here is that I'm going to choose the shape tool. I'm going to choose the portals right here. I'm going to create a portal right here that's going to go across. That's going to where some stairs are going to be. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to create another portal right here because there's going to be a door that's going to go right there. Perfect. So we've got those portals necessary. Let's go ahead and add a texture to the ground because it kind of makes sense to add in some kind of texture. So what I'll do is I'm going to go through and look at what kind of carpet textures we have. I think in the other map I used like this green texture that I ended up changing the color on right here. Perfect. And what I'll end up doing is just change the hue on this. So go to color and we'll change the hue to more of a reddish color. We'll bring the brightness down. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it in here. Let's boost the saturation up. Let me take a look at that. I think that color works a little better. Okay. Perfect. Let's go ahead and add that in. That's where the carpet is. And then I want the bathrooms to be a different color. I don't know if anyone's cleaned a bathroom before, but carpet in a bathroom is psychotic. So instead, we'll use a different texture for the inside of the bathroom. You don't have to use that. You could use whatever you want. Like we could probably use this darker texture just right here. Kind of represents the bathroom, kind of that grungier floor, and it contrasts against those lighter walls. Let's go ahead and save it. Here, we're going to call it Cyberpunk Bar. All right. Cool. I am really enjoying this. I personally really loved in coming up with this design. I had to look up a bunch of reference images online to kind of figure out how to do it. Now, cyberpunk is a super popular style, super popular kind of genre, so I'm really looking forward to kind of putting this together. All right, so now that we've kind of added the textures, we've kind of arranged where everything's going to be, now we can continue adding in our staircases. So what I will do is I think I'll put another texture right here. And then let's go ahead and add in some stairs. So add in stair. There we go, right here. All right, I'm going to push this down. So it's down. Let's go ahead and resize it to make sure that it fits properly within that 5-foot square. Perfect. Let's turn the layer shadow off and let's bring the brightness down. I generally like to make the stairs a little bit darker because then it looks like they're going downward. You're showing height using contrast, so bringing the brightness up or down will show how far the stairs are down. So adding in that part is helpful. I'm also going to add in a door probably. So let's look up door. And it's probably going to be a double door. And I'll use the red because I think it already fits well with it. Let's go ahead and choose this door right here. That's a big door. Let's try this one. Let's scale it down just a bit. There we go. Okay. And then I'll put it, let's see here. Oops. There we go. Aha, there we go. Perfect. I think it's a little thin, so I'll include the width just a little bit to make it a little bit higher up. Perfect. And then the same thing, I'll add another door right there, and I'll stick with the same theme. Ah, cool. This is something I wanted to mention here. You can change the layer of where the fill is on a group. So if I click this whole group right here, and then I go right here to where this little gear is, you'll see that there's a layer offset. I can bring the layer offset of it down, and then what will happen is that since it's down an extra layer, I can go down like this, and it will still be underneath the walls. So a nice little trick right there that you can kind of pull off is by doing that, okay? Let's go throw in some other doors that I think will be necessary. Now, when it comes to doors, you don't have to always put them in. The only time I will actually put the physical door on the map is if the door is locked. Otherwise, you can just take them off, especially if the players don't have to try to break in or anything. If it's just available, you can just not add a door. But I'm going to put doors on here just so people have a general idea on where that is. So you have those doors there, and then we're going to add another staircase right here. And it's, again, 10 feet across because you want people to go up. And I think I might actually change this to the luminosity blend mode so that it catches the carpet color. So it looks like there's red carpet going up. So I'll go ahead and change the blend mode to luminosity. There we go. Perfect. And you might want to bring the brightness down just a little bit. There we go. Okay. And now you have a red carpeted stair going up here into this area. So already it's kind of turning out pretty good. I'm enjoying the overall layout of it. Oh, I did notice that I have to push this down a layer. So there you go. Perfect. And I might bring the brightness down on that. It's a little bit brighter. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. It's already coming together here. I love that. Okay, let's go ahead and throw on some street markings to kind of represent a sidewalk. So we'll go ahead with the line tool here. We're going to go in and choose these lines right here because, you know, there's traffic markings and stuff. So I think what I'll do is I'll use a couple lines. It's sci-fi, so it doesn't have to be perfect, exact, but I'll go ahead and put down that right there. One. I'm going to copy paste. We'll go ahead and choose this line right here for a solid line. I'll just put it right up against here. There we go. These are a little bright. I want to show that they've been worn over time. So what I'll do is I'll bring the opacity down so they kind of blend in better there. Perfect. There we go. Okay. That works out great. Awesome. So now that we have some street stuff there, let's go ahead and throw on some let's throw in some lights to kind of represent traffic lights. So I'll go ahead and put that down right there. I'm going to put it underneath right here. And I think I'm going to put it over to here because I want to show the green light and the yellow light. Step one there. Okay, let's push this up a layer. There we go. And then I'm going to add in a car because one of the ways to show height is to have something underneath something. And this yellow car pops out quite a bit. So if I place this down, put it on layer -5, and then show that it's going like underneath the bridge like that, that's going to give it that sense of depth. Okay, you don't have to put it there in the light. You could put it right here instead if you prefer that way. It's up to you, but wherever you decide to put it underneath the bridge because how is it that I'm going to show that that bridge is high up? How else do I do it? By putting something underneath it. So big pro tip about creating height is to make sure that you have things stacked on top of each other, layering or overlapping. That's a big deal when it comes to making the height. So super important there. I'm going to go ahead and just use the custom object shadow. For now, I just like to have an object shadow that looks just like a drop shadow. There we go. We'll play more with shadows later. Okay, that's perfect. Oop, I did notice here that I missed a section right here. Just want to make sure that all my spots are covered with that carpet. Perfect. Great. Okay, let's take a step back and work on our next step. Where are we at? 20 minutes? Ooh, still a lot to cover before we get started. So a lot to do here. Let's go ahead and finish some of the building. So I'll got that grid back on. Let's go ahead. Let me take a look here. Do I want to add some curvature to it? That wouldn't be a bad idea. Let me think about that. Let me go ahead here. Let's go to preview. Oopsie, I want to select this. There we go. Let's go to preview. I'm going to add a little bit of curve right here. So I'll go minus. There we go. Okay, and then I also want to create one more little section here, right here, like this. Oopsie, I want the square. My bad. There we go. Minus. There we go. Okay, I think I made the shape right. After that, I'm going to probably throw in some more steps because I want to show height as in going up, up, up. So as they're moving up these red stairs, they go to the left, they go further up. Because if you want to, if you're going to have a section where there's a bridge going higher up, you need to make sure there's a corresponding amount of stairs that kind of correlate. So if you just have 3 little stairs that go up to this second floor, it's going to look like, well, it's not very high up. How is that bridge working? So you have to keep adding multiple stairs to keep that going up. So I'll add in a stair here. I'll bring it up a layer. I'm going to bring the brightness up a little bit, and I'm going to change the width of it across like this. There we go. I might have to bring it down a couple layers. There we go. Perfect. And in fact, I might want to go even more than that. Let's go with 3, with a lot of stairs. There we go. Perfect. That should be enough to show that we're kind of going up. I'm going to turn snap to grid off. It's just kind of getting in the way. Here we go. Some stairs there. Copy, paste, and another set of stairs right over here. We're going to have to boost the width a little bit more to reach. There we go. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now you have steps going up all the way, leading up to here. So it should show this height differential because you have all those steps. That's perfect. Remember, access is super important. All right, now that we have all that together, let's go ahead and take a step back here. Where do we want to start next? Let's continue adding stuff outside. We've already kind of gone in that direction. So let's add in some basic stuff that you see on a street, like street lights. So, or I can just type in street actually, and I think some street lights should pop up. Let's expand all assets here. Perfect. There we go. Ah, there they are. And I think I'll have them where they're on the sidewalk and then they're kind of going over like this on the street. So that way there's plenty of lighting on the street so people can see. Perfect. We'll put those 2 there. Excellent. Let's go throw on some vending machines. So if I just type in vending. Perfect. There we go. We'll put a couple on the street here. Make sure they're down a layer. So I got a nice vending machine here. This is pretty big. This looks like it's about 10 feet wide, so it's a decent size. We'll put it all the way on the side here so it's not kind of in the way of this. There we go. Because if it's right here, it's kind of a tight space. But if I move this over, there's a little more maneuvering room. Let's actually use a different one. I want to have one fallen over. So I'll put that one there, and then I'll put the one that fell over right here. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and flip it this way. Looks like someone flipped it over. Perfect. And then I can put it here, and then we'll move this back over to here. Make sure that there's kind of room. And let's go ahead and maybe add another taxi right here. And it's underneath the light to further create height. Again, car. Let's just do something different here. We've already used a taxi, so let's go ahead and use a blue one, and then let's use another one, maybe more sci-fi one. If this isn't a nice part of town, I don't recommend putting in a lot of nice cars. So these kind of hot rod like cars, don't use them if you feel that you're kind of in a more rundown part of town. But we're not in a rundown part of town. We're kind of in a mix. So we'll go ahead and put a couple cars in here. This will kind of help with the height thing. There we go. Perfect. I'll take a step back. I'm going to make that a little bit darker too. Still a little too bright. Okay, there we go. Perfect. In fact, I'm just going to remove that one. We'll just have 2. Actually, no, let's do that. That's what's fine. And then one more copy paste to kind of show the center line. There we go. Perfect. And then let's also create a crosswalk section. So I'll put a crosswalk that pretty much goes right to where the entrance is. So I'll go ahead and use this same one right here. Let me place this down, go across like this. And let's change it to white. I think the crosswalks are white. So let's go with saturation. And then we'll have to bring the scale way up. Oopsie, there we go. I'm going to put that so it goes right across like that. And then I'm going to put a break in the lines. So I'll put one, oopsie, not that one, this one right here. There we go. I'll put a break in the line there to represent there's a crosswalk there. Same thing here. I'll put a break, oopsie, not that one, this one. Put a break in the line, and then the same thing here. Okay, there we go. I want to make sure that I'm kind of representing a crosswalk. Perfect. There we go. Awesome. Cool. Well, the outside's getting there. 87 changes. Let's save it, and then we'll kind of move on to getting... We'll kind of take a step back from the exterior and kind of move... Or the exterior and kind of go into the interior more. Want to make sure that I kind of cover everything. We'll let that save. Perfect. Things are coming together. I'm kind of enjoying where it's kind of going. Okay. Now let's go ahead and kind of create... let's go ahead and kind of create the way to get in. So when I start with the interior, I start at the entrance and then move my way further in. So if you start at the entrance, that way you had to have a direction that you're kind of moving in. I usually start where the players will start. If they're starting on the street and then moving into the bar, that's why I start with the exterior and then move my way in. So if you're ever confused on where to start, you make all the walls first, the building, the structure parts, and then you start with the exterior if you have it, and then move your way in. That's going to be very, very helpful. So let's go ahead and continue making more of that stuff. So let's go ahead and put in some kind of table or something that's going to represent perhaps maybe where people are going to be sitting, kind of waiting. So I'll put that there underneath. I'm going to change it. It's a little wide. Put it right about there. Okay, and let's bring the brightness down. And we'll worry about shadows later. Let's go add in a cashier. Oh, let's go add in cash register. There we go. And we'll put a little table right here, just so people can kind of just figure out how they can get in. And then I think I might add a little drop-down gate. I think. I'm not sure where that's located at. It might be, let's scale down. I'm not sure where I remembered that, where that arm gate is. So I might have to scroll through. I even forgot the name of it. There it is right there. It's called a boom barrier. Okay. And I'm going to put it like right here, right on top. And this is just to make sure that people pay to get in. It's just meant to stop them. And if you want, you can throw in a little gun. I mean, this is Cyberpunk, so it is kind of grim. So we'll throw in a kind of a weapon that's kind of mounted on the wall right here. So if people try to get in, they're going to get beat up a little bit. So you've got the cash register here, the screen, you've got the exit, the part to kind of get in, and your security. So that's all set up. Now, if you want, you can kind of show more height and depth by putting more stairs. So I can copy, paste, and this kind of shows the transition going further down. So this center part is what's called a landing in between those two stairs. And so at the landing is where you'll get your ID checked and all that stuff, if there is ID checks and all that kind of stuff. So now you kind of have a way to get in. Now we need to start setting up the bar stuff. And what I'll end up doing is one thing that I kind of notice a lot, there's a lot of in Cyberpunk, is a lot of neon lights and advertisements. It's because major corporations kind of control the world, right? There's no government regulations or larger central bodies that can kind of stop corporations from doing evil stuff. So they kind of control everything. And so there's no rules about advertisements or anything. So the entire bar should probably be covered in a lot of different lights and advertisements and kind of things like that. So that's kind of important. So what I'll do is I'll use the line tool. I'm going to use the pen and I'll just type in lights or advertisements. So there's a couple of things that you could use here. Like there's one right here, an ad screen wall. There's also these shops, walls with billboards. I'm going to use this ad screen with wall. I think that works good. And what I'll do is simply just follow the wall like this, just so I can kind of get some screens on it, just like that. And now it's up to you if you want them to be kind of below the wall section, or if you want it to be on top. That's really up to you. But that's what I recommend, is kind of going about that and choose which one you want. I also want to have like a series of billboards along the top of where the bar is. And then we're going to put some projectors on there as well. Because one of the things that I like about Cyberpunk is they got, you know, projectors and all kinds of weird and cool stuff that I really like. So we'll throw on all that. And let's go put this one down below to kind of represent that there's some height there. I want to make sure I line it up. There we go. So we got that part of the screen and the bar there. Perfect. Okay. Where else do I want to add screens? Let's go add it all along this wall right here. I think that would be a good idea. All the way across like this. There we go. And I'll put another one right here as well. Perfect. So you got the screens going across. I think I'll do the same thing here. Since I'm putting it below, we'll do it that way. So now you have tons of advertisements there. That's perfect. You might want to add in one more little thing. Let's add in a security camera. Kind of makes sense to throw one in. Let's throw it on the outside so that people inside can see who's at the door. So we can put a security camera right there. Perfect. And you know what? We should also put maybe some kind of hologram to kind of represent the bar, logo. So we can go ahead and just put this just hanging right above the top of the bar. And it will kind of look like that's the hologram that's above the door when you walk in with the product brand there. You can have that. That's perfect. Okay. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and throw in some hologram stuff in here. I think I have the top in holo. Let's try that. Is it in there? There we go. Perfect. Yep, these will work out great. So let's go ahead and put a couple on here. Let's go put them above the layer. Perfect. We'll put one right here. See, for some reason it's not letting me select it. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and put one right there. Let's put one right here in kind of the center. We'll put another one right there. I think 3 should be okay for right now. We could add in more if we want to, but I think these are going to look good. And then we'll throw in some hologram stuff that are kind of being projected from these screens over where the bar is. Because if you look right here, there's some fish right here on the bar. These are holograms. And so they're kind of lights that are kind of projecting those. So we're going to throw those in and I'll show you how to put that together. Okay, let's make the bar part. See this bar? Is this the bar part right here? So I'll go ahead and throw that in. And the way to do that is I'll have to use the brush or have to use the shape tool. First, I want to select this whole group and I'm going to lock it. So now I won't accidentally select the shape because the shape is so big, it takes up most of the screen. So we want to avoid that. Okay. All right, let's fix this. Let's see here. All right. Shape here. I'm going to choose a stroke that's going to be a line, black, and I'm going to choose a fill that's going to work as like a tabletop, and it can be whatever kind of texture you want. Like this metal right here, industrial metal, kind of makes sense. A metal top kind of fits well in. Again, you're going to want to choose circle, and you're going to want to preview it. And what I'll do is I want to turn the snap to grid back on, and I'm going to use this as my guide right here. Okay. Let's go ahead and plus. Oopsie. Did I not lock that shape? There we go. Lock. My bad. Okay. It shouldn't do that again. We'll see here. There we go. I just want to make sure that I create the shape. So we're going to plus. Oopsie. Why do I have that wall? Let's select that again. See, I choose the wrong stuff. There we go. Perfect. Let's bring the scale down. Perfect. Okay. Let's move it to the center of the room. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to minus. So I'm going to go with preview. I'm going to go to square. I'm going to cut this part off right here. Minus. Perfect. And then I'll go ahead and create the circular part as well. Right here. There we go. Minus. And then there's my bar right there. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and scale that up. I think about that size is fine. Maybe right here is fine. It's not enough room. I'm going to have electronic bartenders probably. So you don't really need any room to get behind the bar. It's all going to be electronic. But let's go ahead and move this just over a little bit more just to create just a teeny bit more room. I could also just scale it up like this. That would kind of create a little bit more room right there. Okay, perfect. So now that we have a little bar right there, perfect. Let's go ahead and add in some robots. There should be some, here we are. These robots right here, we're going to use our scale here to kind of figure out where they are. And I'm going to put them just, oopsie, I want to do that. I'm going to move them just right over to here. Let's push these down a layer. There we go. And I'm going to put them just right here along the edge. And I might have to push this down just one more. There we go. Okay. Let's turn snap to grid off. Perfect. So you got some little robots right here doing some serving. Perfect. Let's flip it over here up against the wall. Okay, cool. Now we have that wall. We have that nice bar table there. Let's go ahead and throw in some stools. And you know what? I think I'll use the same material. So I might even make, let me see, what did I use for stools? I could just use a table for a stool because I don't think there are stools. Nope, there aren't. So you got this is where you got to start being creative. So I'll throw in a table, and I think there are some circular tables in here. So we'll go ahead and find that. Let's expand all so I can take a look at them. I think there's a circular one in here. Let me see. There it is. Perfect. This is going to act as my stool. That's about 1.5 feet wide. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And I don't want them to be blue. I might change the hue. Let's see here. Oh, let's super saturate, bring the brightness down. And then to have them pop out, I'm going to have this nice object shadow. And we'll go into shadows here in a little bit. We have a lot to do still, unfortunately. It's already 37. There's a lot to do in this stream. Let's just desaturate it and make it gray. Okay, and then I want to push these down a layer. There we go. And I'm going to have the stools being lined up around the thing here. So now if they're fixed, then you just leave them where they are. But if they're not fixed, like people can move them around, put a couple underneath. That's going to, again, help with that depth thing, right? It's important to have that depth. Overlapping is that trick to depth. Let's put one over here. And all right, let's go put that there. Awesome. We're getting there. Hey, Bitter Dan. Hey, I'm glad that you're here. All right, cool. It is coming together. All right. So the next part is to throw down some tables. And I think circular tables are going to work well here. And the reason why is because right now there's a lot of straight lines. There's one curved element in the architecture right here, but there's still a lot of 90-degree angles, and that's really tripping me out. And so throwing down some tables that are not square will really, really help. And it's easier for your players to walk around, I might add, because with the square ones, what ends up happening is that you don't have a lot of room to maneuver around, but the circular ones, I think, make it a little bit better. So I'll end up using the table right here, and I'm going to throw in a couple. In fact, what I'll do is I'll make it to where some are here like this. Copy, paste. And we might change the color of the, let's use chairs instead of stools. So I'll type in chair. Oh, and you know what? Because the chairs are that kind of purplish color, I think I'll do the same. Actually, I was kind of undecided about what color to kind of make it here. So I'm noticing it's kind of a purple color. And if I desaturate it down quite a bit and boost the brightness up, I might be able to produce that same kind of purplish type of color there. Perfect. There we go. And I'm just going to copy and paste. Remember that trick to, oh yeah, the pink would have been fine too. I would have been fine with either or. It would have been fine with me. Oopsie, what is that? There we go. Oopsie, it's a little too desaturated. There we go, perfect. Okay, copy, paste. And with this, I'll create one table with chairs, and then I'll copy and paste that selection right here. Copy and paste, put one in this corner over here, put one over here. I don't want it to be right up to where the bathroom is, but close enough. Copy and paste. You can put another one over here. There's kind of room for it. And then we'll put one over here against this one over here, and then one over here. And then what I'll end up doing is changing up the chair arrangement. So one can go over here, one can get pushed up against the side here, one's pulled all the way in, one's in here. I'll even have a couple of like they fell down, like a bar fight took place. Let's put a bunch of them that are kind of pushed in, because, you know, there are different types of patrons, different types of people, right? Some people are really polite and they always push in their chairs, you know, and other people don't do that. Other people are like, that's not my problem. That's the person that works there. So, you know, showing in a different arrangement of chairs and stuff like that is going to show this realistic sense of use, right? So not having the same arrangement of chairs all lined up perfectly to be the same, because that's not how reality works, right? People are different. So we'll go ahead and just change up the arrangement. make the chairs different. Or maybe I'll turn this one around. Maybe someone was sitting on the chair like that. Let's push this one in. So pretty easy tricks that you can kind of do there. Push this one against here, one against here. Okay, let's push this up against here. You can push it all the way up against the wall. That's fine. There we go. Let's take another step back here. That one looks good. Let's move this one over to here. Can I fit multiple? Let me see here. We have 4. How many tables do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 4. Oh yeah, no, that's still enough people. There's also going to be some booths at the top here. So I just want to make sure that you can fit a decent amount of people. In here, I want to make sure I have enough patrons, and I might end up changing the color as well on these. So same thing here. I might want to consider just making these more purple, though I'm fine with gray as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and change it or save it as 140 changes, and then we'll continue going. Where are we at for time? 41. Yeah, this is probably going to go for about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to say I don't really want to go that long, but I don't think it's really necessary to do a part 2 for this. So we'll get this saved up. I'm overall very pleased with the design. A Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster, please. Yes, I'll take 3 of those. 3, please, right now. Okay. Let's keep adding more stuff here. What have I got here? Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and do let's go ahead and add the detail. Let's go ahead and move into the bathroom, actually, before I move on to the second floor. So we'll type this in, type in bathroom. And I think all the bathroom stuff should go up. If you haven't tried a bathroom before, a bathroom is very interesting. Never been to a bathroom before. That's new to me. Okay, so now we have some scale to work with here. Make sure that the chairs are about right. I don't want a toilet that's like this big, otherwise the person's going to be swimming in it, and that's not my idea of a good time. So we want to make sure it's the right scale. So we'll go ahead and put it right up against here, like this. And then maybe we'll put, let's see here, maybe some lights for a bathroom mirror in here. We'll put that right there. And we'll have the same flipping design here. So I'll go ahead and push this, copy, paste, and push this one into here. There we go. Let's make sure we kind of add the elements there. There should be a bath roll right here. That looks... Let's go ahead and scale this up. Let's change the height like that. There we go. Cool. All right, I'm going to push that right against here. And I might bring the brightness down on that. Same thing with this one. There we go. Bring the brightness down. We'll go and copy, paste this. We're going to deal with shadow stuff later. Let's just make sure that I get the details in. There we go. And I don't think there are any urinals, but I wish there was. That would be nice. Let's go ahead and throw in the next thing, which we want to throw in some kind of sink. I'm going to put that just right up against here, like that. We'll bring the brightness down. It's kind of a massive sink. I don't want it to be too huge. There we go. Flip, rotate, put that one there. Bring the brightness down a little bit more. There we go. Okay. All right. So we got mirrors, we got with some lights, we've got the sink, perfect, the toilet paper roll, perfect. I think just about everything that you're going to need for the bathroom is going to be in there. We can throw in more stuff, rearrange things. Just make sure that your toilet is next to the toilet roll. It's going to be a little weird if they're right here. People are going to have to be like, do I use a stick? Do I use a cane? What do I use to reach the toilet paper? So yeah, make sure the toilet's next to it. That'd be funny. How do I wipe my butt? I don't get it. Okay. All right. I think the only thing that's left to do downstairs is probably just all the details, the holograms, and the stuff on the tables. But I'm not going to get to that yet because we're short on time here. So let's go upstairs and we'll work on the next step. I want to create like these kind of carpeted areas where there's some more seating up top. So let's go ahead and create that. So what I'll need first is the line tool, the pen, and I'm going to go in, I'm going to type in steps. And there should be, oopsie, there should be a step right here. Perfect. These steps right here. Awesome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, let's go ahead and turn snap to grid on. I want to create enough room so people can kind of get in. So let's put that there. Perfect. The stairs are way too big, so we'll bring the scale down. There we go. And I'm going to change the opacity or the blend mode to luminosity so it'll pick up the kind of same color beneath it. And I might have to bring the brightness down. There we go. Perfect. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this and put it over here and attach it right over here. Okay, so there's the next section right there. There we go. Perfect. So now we have those sections done. Let's go ahead and throw in the carpet for that. So what I'll end up doing here is turn stroke off. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Where is this at for layers? Layer 1. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead now and choose in a fill. We're going to use some kind of red, maybe that same kind of red carpeting. Let's go put it down and just see what it looks like first. Let's turn off snap to grid. And I'm using the pen for the shape, not the line. And I want to make sure that I don't go underneath the stairs. And the reason why is because it's going to pick up that texture. So if I just pressed enter, that should be there. Go up the layer. Oopsie, I just noticed that I have to change the blend mode back to normal. There we go. All right, there you go. Now you have that carpet right there. Let's bring the brightness down a little bit. There we go. And all I have to do is just copy and paste that carpet piece and put it right here. Perfect. There you go. So now those sections are done. And we're going to go ahead and just put a table inside of those sections. Oops, let's go up. There we go, a layer. Want to make sure they're on the right layer. Perfect. There we go. Awesome. Okay. And then same thing. Copy, paste, put that there. And then we'll go ahead and adjust the chairs for each one. As always, adjust the chairs. There we go. Same thing here. We'll adjust the chairs. Let's push one way over here. Like that, and one over there. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to put in some glass because I think right now the walls just seem really plain. So I'm going to throw in some glass sections on the walls. So I want to make sure that I unlock this main shape that I used to create the exterior and everything and the interior stuff. I'm going to select this, go over to portals. I'm going to turn snap to grid on, and I'm going to create a little window right here made of glass. I might create another one right here, actually. Let's make this of glass as well. And then we might create the bridge and have that be made of glass as well. So if I go here, there we go. And then this part, we're going to make a glass. Let's see here. Where else? Did I add any more glass pieces? Oh, I did right here. Perfect. Put another glass piece right there. And I think I'm going to have glass be... Let's take a step back. Where else did I have them? Oh, I think those are perfect. Okay. Now that I've done that, I can select that main piece again and lock it. Go to line, go to pen, and then just look for glass right here. Here's some glass right here. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and just place it down, and then we'll edit it as we see fit if it needs to be bigger. So I'll bring the scale up. I'm also going to bring it up more. Let's bring it down a layer. There we go. Perfect. And now I can put those pieces together. Copy, paste, flip, put another piece of glass right there. Perfect. And then I wanted to make the glass for right here as well. So I'll go ahead and start here, going all the way across. There we go. Cool. All right, so you see how it's kind of coming together there. You got some glass. Let's turn the grid off real quick. I'm kind of been working with it on, but I kind of feel like I've got the scale down and everything. So I think that's good. Let's go ahead and save it. Cool. All right. It is coming together. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. There's still a lot to do, but we are moving along. It's about 50 after right now. We might be able to get it done even sooner, but we'll kind of see here. But I think it's all kind of coming together pretty well. Really enjoying it so far. So let's go ahead and copy and paste. And we're just going to use this glass, and we're going to turn the snap to off because it's not going to snap properly. So I'll put that there. Copy, paste, put another one right here. So this is going to kind of create the walls. And then I'll just go ahead and just copy and paste both of them. And then I can just kind of rotate like this. There we go. Perfect. And this glass looks a little too long, so I'll have to redo it. So I'll push that there. There we go. Perfect. And I'm noticing that the red part, there we go. Okay, cool. Make sure that I got it all. Awesome. Okay, we've got most of the glass done. I think the last piece of glass is this piece right here. And so what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste this and then fill it with glass and then put it right there like that. And I want to make sure that I kind of line it up properly. So I'll put it right about there. There we go. And more glass. Perfect. Awesome. Coming together nicely. Our bar is coming together really, really nicely. A lot of the sections are getting done here. Is there another table in the corner over here? There is one. Let's add in one more table. We can get just a couple more people here. So copy, paste, and I'll put that table right here in this corner. That's perfect. And there should be enough room for people to walk up the stairs. Okay. So it is all coming together, right? Players can walk across the sidewalk, go across the crosswalk, they go inside, check their stuff, they walk in, they can get into the bathrooms. There's the bar right here if they want to get a drink. More of the bar section here. They can go up the stairs into this other part of the floor here. They can go to these tables, go up to here, and then they can go up to here. I was thinking right here, this section would be kind of a dance floor area, which kind of makes sense. So we might want to put some lights up here. I also want to put in like a sliding glass door or some kind of sliding door right here that's locked so that people can't kind of get in that way. So let me type in door. There we go. Let's go ahead and expand all. We can kind of take a look here. You know, this looks pretty good right here. I kind of like that. That kind of is kind of what I'm aiming for right there. But it is a little flat. So if I custom object shadow and then bring up the opacity, bring that up a little bit, that will make it look like the door is popped out more. And I can even change the color if I want to stick with the theme to have it be more purple, pink, blue, whatever you might want it to be. I think purple works fine. We want to add in multiple colors to kind of give it a nice feel to it. Why don't we also add some markings on top of the bridge as well to show that there's maybe 2 lanes for walking. So I'll go ahead and put this down right here. This can just lead right to the door. Like that. Perfect. Let's also throw in some arrows maybe. That's not correct. Let me go ahead and type that. There they are, right there. And I think what I'll do is, again, bring the opacity down. I want them to kind of match up. So we'll go one going this way, one going this way to kind of show a flow of traffic. That works out fine. And then I also want to show that there's a way to go up here, to go up into that thing, or you can put a stair or some arrows like that, kind of showing how to get into the bar. It's up to you how you want to go about doing it. I think overall things are coming together. Let's go do something outside of Sci-Fi Battlemaps. I'm going to go to Fantasy Battlemaps. Now, one thing I've kind of noticed about Cyberpunk is there's a lot of like Chinese or Japanese kind of characters that are kind of involved. It looks like either a Mandarin or some kind of Japanese language has kind of taken over. I kind of see that in a lot of Cyberpunk. And so I think I want to use some Eastern stuff from the fantasy battle map style so that way I kind of have this kind of Eastern kind of feel to it. So what I do is I'll probably choose maybe these kind of fish right here. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of use these dragons right here. And I'll put that down. I'm going to change the blend mode to luminosity. I'll bring the brightness up. I'll bring the contrast down a little bit. Brightness down a little bit. And then you have kind of like this circular section right here where people can kind of dance and move around. And if we want, we can even throw in another table, copy and paste right over here in this corner, right over here. So we have one last kind of table here. So you have a lot of tables. So there's now it can actually fit a lot of patrons. That's perfect. All right, great. This is looking great so far. I'm very happy with where it's kind of going. So let's go ahead and throw in the projectors and do some of the lighting and shadow work before we kind of run out of time here. So what I'll end up doing is what makes sense to have light is going to be on the tables so people can see their drink. So if you just type in light, and I'm going to go back to Sci-Fi Battlemaps. Perfect. Okay, just type in light. You got some options here. Let's go with some red here. I'm going to put that just like on layer +5. I'm going to put it right up against where this one is right here. I'm going to bring the opacity down because it's just so bright. And I'll place down a couple more. And I'm going to change the colors. So one will kind of be a greenish color. One can be a bluish color or purplish color. like that. There we go. Perfect. So we're kind of getting our lights together right there. That makes sense. For just like getting like a regular light, again, right on top of the tables kind of makes sense. So you can put them on top of the table. Or you can put them randomly if you want to show overhead lighting, like industrial lighting. You can just have lights lined up in a row. Because you can't see the lights on the roof or on the ceiling, it kind of makes sense to kind of place them in a organized way to make it look like there is a maybe some industrial type of lighting hanging from bars, and they're spaced evenly apart from each other to create the right kind of lighting. So we'll throw that in there. I don't, let's skip throwing one on top of the table because I kind of feel like it makes the table a little too bright. But you guys are getting the general idea. Let's push a couple of these in, move this one over to here. Okay, great. So we're getting the lighting on there. Perfect. Let's go back into Fantasy Battle Maps because I kind of noticing that there isn't some lighting effects that aren't available. So like this one right here is not available in Sci-Fi. So I'll go ahead and just place that one right on top right there. I'll bring the opacity down. Let's put another one right here, and let's put another one right here. And I'll change the lighting, of course. So I'll change the hue, kind of get that more greenish color like I was getting out of there. Perfect. And this one right here can be kind of a purplish. Oopsie, not that one. That, there we go. Excellent. Let's go with that purplish color. Great. There we go. So it's already kind of coming together there. One other thing too that I want to mention is that you're in a bar. And so there's probably going to be a lot of cigarette smoke. So we're going to use mist, clouds, smoke, whatever you want to use to kind of give it a sense of ambiance, right? There's no government regulations. It's all controlled by major corporations. So there's going to be a lot of smog. There's going to be a lot of pollution. It's just something that I kind of associate with the cyberpunk genre. So you'll have to go in and choose like clouds, mist, whatever you want to use. There's some blue cloud right here. This is perfect. I can just like place that like right over there. And then I can change the hue of it and then add like a purple cloud over here and just kind of place them throughout the bar. And then have some of them be more opaque than others. So I'll bring the opacity down a little bit like that so it's not all the same. So that can represent a series of things. It can represent pollution. It can represent cigarette smoke. It can be maybe a fog machine that's like rolling out fog onto the floor to kind of give it a little bit more feel to it. So all of those things. I don't personally smoke. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and add in some more of the lighting. I think that would be a good idea. So let me just select that light right there, and then it should have the same color. So I'll go ahead and push that right there. Same thing over here. I'll select this green one, and then I'll put that one right there. Perfect. And then there should be one more, a little kind of orangish light right there. There we go. Okay. Now let's go ahead back into Fantasy Battle Maps, and we're going to type in fish. Now the way that I'm going to have this work is I'm going to have to change the blend mode on this so that it can pick up stuff beneath it. Remember, it's a hologram, right? So I'll change the hue of it first to kind of get as much color out of it, and then I'll change the blend mode to lighten. And what that does is you'll be able to notice that you can see stuff underneath it. So I'll correspond its color. We got a green one right there. Let's put let's see here. Let's put another one right here, but I'll change it to a different color. So let's go with maybe that purplish color. There we go. Perfect. And I'll change the opacity since there's nothing underneath it. So it's kind of hard to tell. And then I'll throw in a couple more over here. Let's put one in right there. Perfect. Okay, so you got these kind of fish. And then I'm going to show different layers of them. So I'll create some smaller ones to make it look like there's height. Like the ones that are bigger are higher up. The ones below are smaller. And I'm going to have them overlap some of the bar as well, like some of the seats and stuff. So that way it kind of gives it that more layered look to it. So I'll put one right here as well. There you go. And so you kind of have these fish kind of hang above there. The other thing I recommend is adding in some sparks. Or snow. Snow works fine. Sparks works fine. It's just going to give it that kind of nice little kind of ambiance feel to it. Let's bring it way down. There we go. And we'll put some snow over here. It's not actual snow. It just kind of represents the dust particles. You ever notice when you take a flashlight and the beam of light hits some dust particles, you can kind of see them floating in the air. That's what I'm using this snow for, right? It's, again, I'm trying to portray pollution, dust particles, like things like that. So throwing in that is helpful. And I'll put them a little around everywhere. So I'll put some over here in this corner, and then I'll also throw in some lights. So I'll put in a light right here. Let's put in a green one over here on this side. And I'll bring the opacity up so it get extra green, some green lighting there. Same thing with this one. I'll kind of boost the opacity up. Oopsie, that's not the light. There we go. Get some extra purple light. Let's also get in a blue light as well. So we'll change the hue, gonna get that bluish light, and we'll put that one over here. There we go. So we're kind of getting the different kind of colors that we want to work with here. Let's go to hue and we'll change the colors. Let's change another light over to here, and let's put it on this table. Go up all the way to +5. There we go. Perfect. Okay. 96 changes. Let's save it. We are moving right along. The bar is coming together. Awesome. All right, let's go throw down some details, I think. And then we're also going to paint in some shadows as well, because you'll notice that a lot of the stuff doesn't really pop out very much. Like, for a great instance, that shape toolbar table that we had, it doesn't really look like the table is kind of, oopsie, it doesn't really look like the table is coming off the ground. It kind of just looks like it's flat. So what I'll end up doing is choose a color. I'm not going to use black. I'm going to go with the darkest red that I can get. I'm going to make sure it's set to BG. I'm going to set it to a circle brush, bring the opacity way down. I usually do about 30% or so. And I'll just put a little shadow just underneath right here. And what that shadow will do is it will cause the table to pop out. You just got to have patience, right? So you'll notice that the table is starting to pop out now because I've used a little bit of a dark red shadow to make it pop out. So now it looks like it pops out. And I'll add just a little bit of shadow underneath everything, underneath this table, underneath this one, and that will cause those tables to pop out more. I could use object shadows, which is perfectly fine. You can do that, but I'm just going to paint them in just to give it a nice feel to it. There we go. Nice. Okay, so it's now those tables are really starting to pop out. You know, here's the thing. When you're making a map, you're not generally going to like the way it looks when you first start. And the reason why is because the image in your head is generally greater than what you're probably going to end up producing. And by that, I don't mean it's going to be that you don't have any skill or anything like that. It just means that you probably won't create what's exactly in your head. And that's okay, because sometimes the little mistakes and the things that you do kind of make it better than what you had originally managed. So be very flexible when you're putting together your map, because if you stay focused on exactly what's in your head and it doesn't turn out being that way, that can be kind of frustrating. So be flexible. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And sometimes mistakes are fantastic. They do wonderful things. They help you out. Right now I'm selecting all of the objects and adding just a little bit of extra object shadow to them. To the tables, same thing. We'll add a little bit more object shadow just to give it a little bit more pump to it. There we go. I think bring the intensity up. Oop, there we go. Ooh, a little too much. Bring that down. There we go. Offset, bring it down a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So you have some nice tables there. Perfect. All right. Excellent. Great. I am very happy with this. So far, so good. Let's add in some more sparks, more clouds, put in some clouds here. Let's add in a cloud right there. Perfect. Okay, let's throw in some screens and advertisements. Oopsie, I need to make sure that I am in Sci-Fi Battlemap. There we go. We'll type in screen. Okay, I want to throw a couple more screens up on the walls and stuff because I feel like it would be important to have more screens and stuff. So we'll throw that in. Oops, I want it to be down. There we go, down a layer. Let's see here. Where else can I add in some screens here? You could put a screen up inside the bathroom. You know, it's like normally you don't want your normally you don't want to be disturbed in the bathroom, but you know, they don't care. People don't care. The advertisements are going to be in the bathroom too. You just got to deal with it, okay? Let's go ahead and throw in some lighting. And let's use this one right here, this half circle. I think that will work a lot better. We're going to push it up. There we go. half circle lighting here as well. Perfect. There we go. I can't tell you how important using light sources is. It really, really helps. Really, really helps to put in light sources because lighting and shadowing is how you really get that depth. Okay, let's keep going. And I'm going to also paint in the edges of the walls because you notice that the walls seem a little flat, but as soon as, again, just like I did with the bar, once I start painting in the side of the walls, then it starts to pop out more. So remember those tricks. Throw in that darker shadow all along here, darker shadow in here, just a little bit darker there, shadow all along here and here. This is what's going to help to make those walls pop out now. You notice now that the walls have started to really, really pop out now. Same thing here. I'm going to add a really, really thick shadow to here because this is a building. So I'll throw in a nice thick shadow here. There we go. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and save it at 97 changes. We're going to just keep on going. We're going to add in the details on the tables. So it's mostly going to be like tumblers, cups, stuff like that. And then we'll add in the final bit of details, which is going to be those filters. So we are very, very, very close to done. I'm going to throw on, we're in the detail stage of it now. So let's kind of throw in all the details. And what I'll end up doing is if you just go over to the Sci-Fi pack, and I think there should be some tumblers. Let's go ahead and type in tumbler. Perfect. Throw these down, and I'm going to throw them on top of the tables. I'm going to use the scale again. That's huge. About that size works great. And we'll throw down a couple per table. We'll put some on top here, here. I'll put them in a bunch here, a couple over here, one on here, maybe 3 over here. I'm a big fan of the 3s. Maybe put one on the stool there because guy's a butthead. Put one there, put 2 on this one. We'll put a stack of them over here. One right here, perfect. Just throw them on there, don't be shy. Oopsie, I want to make sure that I bring them up a layer. There we go. Oopsie, layer 4, perfect, there we go. Put some on this table, great, okay. And then some up here as well. All right, let's keep going. There should be some restaurant stuff, so shops. Let's see here, Quick Mart, is that it? Nope, maybe it's the street food. Ah, there it is, perfect. Let's put down some fortune cookies, which are completely American. We'll put some around here, one here. Let's put some on the thing here. Perfect. And then wherever you have those, put a couple next to them. So there's one here. Let's put a couple on the floor. And because they're on the floor, let's make them a little bit darker so it looks like they're further down. And I totally recommend that you rotate them in different directions because you don't want to have them all be in the same direction. And I'll have one being just a little bit underneath the table like that to create that depth. Okay, let's also add in some ashtrays. We have a lot of cigarette smoke, so it only kind of makes sense to throw in an ashtray. And I think I'll put one on pretty much every single table. Kind of makes sense. Oopsie, let's make sure that I go up the right layer. There we go, one there, put one up here. Every single table is just available. There is no non-smoking section. Sorry, I don't even smoke. Let's put one there. Every single table. There we go. And I don't know if there are cigarette butts. There might be. We'll have to check. Okay. Oh, that table, and that table. Great. Cool. So all the details are coming together. Perfect. I think there might be cigarettes. Let me type in cig real quick. Sif. Cig? I don't see cigarettes. Let's type in cig. It might be, I think it might actually be a texture. Let me check. Texture, cig. Is there a cigarette? Let's take a look. No, I don't think so. It might be under trash. Let me type in alpha. And that will show, oops, I'm not sure how that happened, but all right. Alpha, there we go. Okay. I see trash right here, rubbish. But I don't see any empty shells, shotgun shells. Let's go with this rubbish right here. And let's put some of that on the street, shall we? Oopsie, that looks a little too big. Let's go to scale here. Advanced settings. There we go. Aha, that's not the right size. There we go. And we're just going to throw some rubbish on the ground. And it wouldn't hurt to put some of it inside too. Like maybe there's a messy patron, so put some on the ground right there. Over here. Put some in here as well, right here. Okay. All right. Oopsie. I just kind of noticed that I can't actually put that there. There we go. Okay. Looking good so far. All right. Keep adding details in there. Let's go and throw in some these. I like these lines right here. They act as kind of like a runner. And I think what I'll do is I'll do another one, but I'll go with a different color. So I'll go ahead and change the hue on this. Let's go with like that pinkish color. I think I kind of like that. Oopsie, not that one. My bad. There we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of create like these runner lines that kind of follow. So I'll go ahead and just go like this. Along the edge here, like this. Enter. Push it down a layer, make sure. There we go. I'm going to bring the opacity down even more. And let's maybe change the color. It's a little too pink. I want to go with a different, somewhat similar color, but not entirely super pink. Yeah, that works good. We're going to copy and paste that. Right here. There we go. Perfect. So we're kind of creating these lines that look kind of good. And we can kind of just create some rando ones. Just for design's sake, just kind of throw in some randos. That will kind of give it some unique shape to it, I think. That should be interesting. We'll even throw some in the bathroom as well. Like this. And I'll push it down a layer all the way down. Oopsie. These need to go up. One layer. My mistake. We'll push these all up a layer as well. Up a layer, and let's bring the opacity down on this one. There we go. It's a little bit darker in there. Copy, paste it. Oopsie, not that one. This one. Copy, paste. There we go. Okay. So now we're getting some interesting kind of shapes in there. I'm going to select all of these again. Select all from this style. Let's bring the opacity down even more. There we go. Cool. All right, looking good so far. Yeah, I'm enjoying where things are going. We'll quickly save, and then we're going to add the final details and call it good. Let's see here, 13 after? Yeah, we're going to call it good after about 420. A solid number. Okay. All right, let's go throw on filters and stuff. I think what you can do is to throw like random chairs and stuff. You can totally throw those randomly around if you want, like up against here if you want, and you can put like another TV right here. Like some people prefer when they go to a bar, they just like to watch sports or whatever it might be. So putting another screen right there that people can kind of watch stuff on there. You just got to think of who your patrons are, what they want. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and throw in the filters. So the very first filter that I'll probably put in is polluted air. That's the first one. We'll bring the opacity down on it just a little bit. We'll get that yellow look to it. The other one I might want to throw in is some sparks to kind of give it that kind of feel to it. So I'll bring the opacity down a little bit. There we go. We got some sparks there. Let's also throw in, I want it to have this grungy look to it. So why don't we use like old paper from Parchment World, I believe. So right here, old paper, you'll have to change the blend mode to overlay. There we go. And let me turn it down, turn it off so you can kind of see it. You see how kind of clean it is, but when I add in the old paper, it gives it that more grungy kind of, a grungy feel to it. And that's exactly what I want. I want this more grungy kind of feel to it. So that looks good. Let's keep adding in a couple more filters. One thing is to add a color adjustment, and it doesn't hurt to boost the saturation up just to give it that extra color. And the other thing I might want to do is boost the contrast. There we go. And that will give it that extra grunge look. So I boost the saturation to give it more color. I boost the contrast to make the lights and the darks pop out more. And now it really has that kind of grungy kind of feel to it when you look at it. So now I think that's it. That's pretty much it. You make sure that you just throw lights, you know, everywhere. So if you have like a light, just make sure you put one down right here, here, just wherever you have lights. That's where you want to add light sources. It's super important to add that stuff. Oopsie. I kind of noticed that that went down there. My mistake. I also noticed that there's a light coming from the from here as well. So we'll put that down, copy, paste. Okay, well, I think you guys get the general idea of kind of like how to kind of put this all together. You'll notice that you just want to create the ambience. You want to create the sense of height that you want to create. All of those things are super important. All right, there you go. All right, so not actually complex, but the most important thing is just kind of getting the height down. There is one last thing actually that I do want to do. I want to show height on that bridge, and to do that I want to use a path or a line, and I'm going to make sure the line size is huge all the way up, and I want to bring the opacity up, and I want to bring the blur all the way up. Okay, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to push it down a layer like this. There you go. And now we're going to have that extra height with the shadow right there. And now you can see that the bridge really looks like it's a little bit higher up because you have that shadow there. You could paint in more. You could also copy and paste it and put another one right here if you want to double up the shadow to make it extra thick. Totally up to you. I did forget one thing. I forgot to add a staircase that kind of leads up to there. So I'll quickly add that as well. We'll quickly add a staircase like this, going up right here. Just kind of going up like that. There we go. And that has a staircase on the street that kind of takes you up to that spot right there. Okay. All right. So that's it, everybody. We made sure to add access to all the points. We added details. I would definitely throw in more details and stuff. Like I would probably throw in more stuff on the ground, more fog, more sparks, more lights. You could even fill in these sections right here with black, or you could put in some kind of plumbing where the sink and this is. Up to you. Honestly, you can never go wrong with just adding more details. Just keep adding more and more details. It's really, really important that you do, because the details really are what's gonna tell the story, and it's really gonna make it pop out more. So just kind of remember that when you're kind of putting your stuff together, okay? All right, I'll save it and call it good. I think the next one is a Discord live stream where we're going to be doing the actual, the Discord live stream is going to be, we're going to be making a Pirate Paradise. It's the weekly map prompt. So come join me on Discord. Bring your own maps. Don't be shy. Share your maps. It's okay. No one's going to judge you for it. So bring your maps for that. That's going to be on Discord in one of the event chats. And then I do believe on Friday, there's going to be side view. It's going to be a masterclass where we're going to be covering side view architecture, which can be super important when you're trying to create some kind of side view that's going to help you for either a one-shot, or if you want to use that side view for a game that you're making or whatever it might be, okay? All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, if you like the map, I put that link in the chat, so go check that out. If you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be in the video description. Thanks so much for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you all next week, okay? Please take care, and please stay safe and healthy. Merry map making, folks.